Fnaf theories are some of the most crucial parts of the series. It's why we love it so much. The mysterious story lets us create our own ideas and keeps us talking about the series long after many consider it dead. Yes, I read the comments. However, that doesn't stop us from trying to solve the obscure and complicated lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. Some of the most influential theories are what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and this is the top 10 Fnaf fan theories that changed everything. Let's do it. And at 10, Henry's Mustard Man. The Mustard Man is one of the most confusing points of Fnaf 6. This seemingly new character felt like William Afton, driving a purple car and living in a house with kids that we had established to be William's, but he wasn't purple. This led some to the conclusion that perhaps this was Henry, William's business partner and father to Charlotte, the one who goes on to possess the puppet. This caused us to think hard and look at different aspects of the series in a whole new way. If this was Henry, that would mean that the Fnaf 4 house was Henry's, and that the security cameras in sister location's security room were of Henry's house, meaning either he put them there or William was spying on them. It would also mean that the Fnaf 4 girls' room was Charlotte's and not Elizabeth's. It threw a wrench into everything we thought we knew about the series, and some still believe this theory to this day, and honestly, I don't know what to believe. I don't know if it's right or wrong. And at 9, Bite of 87. The Bite of 87 is like the center point of all Fnaf confusion. This event was introduced in the first game and has never been explained fully. The absolute that this caused just made everything more difficult to put into place. Who caused the bite? Who got bit? Was it Mangle? Was it Fredbear? Did we see the bite in Fnaf 4? Was it Jeremy who got bit? If so, why did he stick around with the company? Was Chica's Ultimate Custom Night line actually revealing the bite? We don't know the answers, but generally the consensus is that Mangle bit Jeremy prior to Fnaf 2, and that's why we were hired in the game. But then Fnaf 4 came along and a load of people assumed that Crying Child being chomped was the Bite of 87. However, as evidenced by the Fredbear and Friends cartoon on the TV and the secret password of 1983 in sister location, we know that Crying Child was bit in 1983 and not 1987, resulting in 2 separate bite instances. Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers, but hey, that's Fnaf for you. And at 8, MikeTrap. This has got to be the most frustrating debate in all of Fnaf lore. At the end of Sister Location, in the secret ending, Mike has a little speech about how he's supposed to be dead but he isn't, and that he's going to go find his father, who just so happens to be William Afton. But this debate comes at the end of the scene. Since Mike says, "I'm going to come find you," and then Springtrap pops out, because, you know, he's in the ruins of Fazbear Frights. This made people believe that this was actually Springtrap popping out, and that Springtrap was Mike. However, it was only to show that, you know, dear old dad hasn't moved on to the blood-soaked pastures, and that you lighting the on fire didn't actually do anything, because he was being kept alive by the soul of one of his victims. Yeah, the whole MikeTrap club was disproven by Scott himself when he said in a post on Steam to look at MatPat's explanation for the whole debate. But yeah, some people still swear that they're 2 different individuals, which is absolutely absurd but definitely changed everything. And at 7, Survivor. William Afton always comes back, but honestly, that wasn't always the case. After Fnaf 3, we thought that he was dead, at least until someone pulled the good old-fashioned screen brightening and saw William on the back of the final newspaper article in Fnaf 3 where it talks about the Fazbear Frights fire. That's when we knew that William would be back again whenever the series continued. This wasn't the only time that we would theorize that Afton survived either, since in Fnaf 6 we also got theories about William making it out of the final fire, since he was in front of the flames in the final scene, whereas other animatronics were behind or inside the fire. And this also turned out to be true, since in the Man in Room 1280 we learned that he made it out of the fire and was in the hospital, being kept alive by the soul of one of his victims, like supernatural life support. And in Fnaf VR he was back as sentient code, which now makes us all believe that next time William bites the dust, he'll be back. I always come back. And at 6, Clara Afton. We know little about Mrs. Afton. We don't even know if there was a Mrs. Afton. We know that William probably had some form of woman in his life, assuming his kids are biological and not adopted, and we also know that William had some other female that he was pushing away, who was represented by Bellora's song. But we also have no idea who this original woman was, or if she's still alive. Maybe she died, maybe she left William. There have been plenty of rumors and ideas of how this situation is going on by different Fnaf parody songs and animations, some of which involve car accidents, or Mrs. Afton walking in on whatever William was doing, but none of these have ever been confirmed. So like, people are still treating them as fact even though they're literally just fan animations. There is no official name yet for Mrs. Afton. Some people though call her Clara because of The Immortal and the Restless, the soap opera from Sister Location, since there's a vampire in purple that people compared to William, which for some reason even meant that because, you know, William's name isn't Vlad, but Clara, oh yeah, that must be the mother's name. Yeah, that's not true. Clara Afton doesn't exist, at least yet. She has no canon name, alright? So stop calling her Clara Afton. I still see comments like this, and I feel like at this point it's only to troll me. Are you doing it to troll me? Are you doing it to make me mad? Because it's working. Fnaf has already driven me insane. You don't need to do it more, okay? I'm already crazy. Halfway through into number 5, William Afton. Before Sister Location, we didn't have the name of William Afton. We didn't have a name for the most infamous serial killer in video games. Rather, we had a nickname, the Purple Guy. This name became synonymous with Fnaf and this mysterious killer. It became so associated, in fact, that anytime someone wore purple in a video, we all flipped out. Until one fateful day where the great MikeTrap came to us suffering through the Silver Eyes novel to bring us a theory that shaped Fnaf history. The name of the Purple Guy was not the phone guy, but rather William Afton. Since this name came from the books, a lot of people were quick to dismiss it, saying that they're not canon to the games, so we can't think that it's true. But then, lo and behold, we get one simple line in the Sister Location intro that confirmed this suspicion. Quote, "Those aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton." Boom! With that one line, MikeTrap had another theory confirmed, and everyone who said the books weren't canon ate their words, and I love that. And at 4, 2 souls. The idea that Golden Freddy has 2 souls inside him only started thanks to the Bunny Call epilogue, where the spirit who was possessing William Afton went on to possess the Stitch Wraith along with the original spirit. That, for one reason or another, caused a load of people to start thinking that Golden Freddy had 2 souls inside him. However, you know, like MikeTrap says, it's just a theory. Lore-wise, as far as we know, Freddy only has 1 soul inside him. And the whole 2 eyes thing with the golden Freddy head and the FNAF 3 bad ending, it doesn't make sense, okay? If you want to go and have a better explanation as to why it doesn't make sense, check out my video on the topic. This presents an issue though, because if we look at a series through this lens, it can cause us to move in directions that we were never supposed to. Since if Golden Freddy having 2 souls is not the case, then us assuming that it is and then continuing on with that in mind is just going to cause even more problems. We have to look at things from multiple angles if we're going to do things properly. Having a single viewpoint can end up being our downfall. So, whenever I suggest that Golden Freddy has 1 soul, or I go off that idea, it's because it's still actually possible. And you know what? It's more likely. That's right, I said it. I said it. Golden Freddy is most likely only possessed by 1 soul. You know what? You want to come at me? Come on, MikeTrap. Finally notice me, senpai. Come on. Golden Freddy has 1 soul. Prove me wrong with hardcore facts, not theories. Getting close to the end, and at number 3, Michael is Crying Child. The Crying Child has been a mystery since FNAF 4. He doesn't have a name, despite what people may be calling him, and currently they're working on trying to uncover his name, but as of yet, he isn't named Chris, he isn't named Doug, he isn't named Larry. But not only is his name a mystery, the character himself is also mysterious. He dies at the end of FNAF 4, but he's told that he will get put back together, presumably by William, but we don't know if he was actually put back together. However, when the revelation came that Mike knew what the Nightmare animatronics looked like, we absolutely flipped, thinking that he had to be Crying Child, and that he had to have been put back together. There was absolutely no way that he could be anyone else. That somehow William had kept Crying Child alive after he supposedly died in FNAF 4. This is something we all solidly believed. Until one fateful day when Fazbear Frights Book 3 Step Closer and its title story were released. Penultimately, and at number 2, Michael is Foxy Bro. Not only did everything change when we thought Crying Child was Michael Afton, but now we think that Michael is actually Crying Child's older brother, thanks to one simple line from Step Closer. The older brother in this story, who has an affiliation to Foxy, much like the older brother from FNAF 4, chews a lot of gum. This is pointed out multiple times. And Michael wrote in the survival logbook that if he could break one habit, it would be chewing gum excessively. However, this makes even less sense than him being a revived Crying Child, since how would this entirely separate character know about the Nightmare animatronics that were created inside Crying Child's head right before he dies? He couldn't have told him because, you know, he was dead, and it's not like Michael would also dream about these animatronics that had stomach mouths, a feature that we presume was added because Crying Child saw Elizabeth get scooped. Why would that make any sense? It wouldn't, and that's the point. It's all one big kerfuffle that drives me absolutely insane. That's why I believe that Michael is a rebuilt crying child as like his older brother, because you know it makes more sense, and I can't believe I have to say that. It makes more sense. Finally, in at number 1, Dream Theory. The most controversial FNAF fan theory of all time. The topic of Dream Theory came around when Scott started giving Matt, Pat, and other FNAF theorists hints during a live stream shortly after the release of FNAF 4. These hints included, in the FNAF 4 minigame, why would Toy Chica be missing her beak? What is seen in the shadows is often misunderstood in the mind of a child. And 4 games, 1 story. These hints led to the potential conclusion of the entire game series being a dream created by Crying Child as he lay dying on his hospital bed. That the real things we see in FNAF 4's 8-bit minigames resulted in the creation of some aspects we see in various games, like Toy Chica losing her beak when she goes on the attack in FNAF 2. And it also explained a whole load of different things like the hallucinations and everything that seemingly defied logic. Yet everyone hated the theory, so we stopped talking about it. But it certainly did change the way we looked at the FNAF series as a whole. So had to be included. There we have it, friends, the top 10 FNAF fan theories that changed everything. What theories do you think changed everything? Be sure you let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video. Mother. Mother. He only does this when I'm filming, I swear. He's like, oh yeah, I gotta wait to crack the monster until like 4:15 when Connor's filming. God. I opened mine at 9 AM like a lady, thank you. Yes, because I'm polite.